Now when you first get this fixture, it'll usually come to you set up just like this. So the first thing you do is check to be sure you got your 2 Allen keys. One of them is the 532 with the ball end, which is used to access your screw that holds on your adapter. And the other one is the one that's used here at the rear to adjust your stone guide. So, all right, when you get it, it'll be just like this. So what you do to use it, you loosen the lock knob and you rotate your elevator wheel 20 clicks up. It usually starts at the bottom, so you come up 20 clicks. There's 1, 2, 3. There's 20. Then you tighten your locking knob, just snug. All right, now we're gonna alter the hammer hooks for a 1911 hammer. And the first thing you do is read your instructions that comes with your adapter. So you take the 1911 hammer, and you see here on the instructions it says side A. So A goes out. So we select the pin that fits the hammer pivot pin hole, which is the 156. So that's this corresponding hole. So it's going to go right here. And the stop pin is going to go in this second, or the center stop pin hole location. So that's the way the hammer's going to fit on there. Now you can put the hammer on in different pins. You could probably use this pin and do the same thing. It just depends on what angle that you have your adapter when you tighten it down on your elevator. So the easiest has been to use A side out and this setup right here for the 1911 hammer. Now what you might find that this might be a little bit low in your fixture, and if you use this type of stone, it may be that these heads will strike the back of the elevator or the back of the Series 2 stoning fixture, so you can't have that. So in this case, the way this is set up, it's set up to use this stone here. So we know we're going to use this stone just like the instructions say. So there's going to be the setup. So now we're going to put this adapter on this elevator retained by this screw. So it's easier to take the pins out, put the adapter on, A side out. We don't care what position it is except A side out. All right, we get it started. All right, we're going to put the pins back in. This is your stop pin. I'll put the hammer on there. All right, now that's the position. Now what we want to look at is the angle of these hammer hooks in reference to this. So when we put the stone on here, which we got the sharp angle of the stone next to the hammer hooks, that means we got to come over closer. So we adjust this over about like so. See, we got to be a little bit closer, about an 1/8 inch closer. All right, we're out of adjustment here. So what we do here is move this screw to the center screw hole. See, and that'll allow you to be closer. Just tighten it snug. Now we'll look at it again. About an 1/8 inch closer there. See right there. You see there, now that'll get to the hooks. But when you put your hand on there, you hold this stone by the end, flat on the stone guide, and you see it's a little bit loose. We could tighten it a little tighter, but you don't need to. You just push it towards the hammer, and as you move it back and forth, See, you hold it into the hammer hooks. Now here again, you can look at the hammer hooks by putting blue Dykem on them. Generally, what you can think about on a 1911, those hammer hooks are usually 90 degrees to that flat surface on the bottom of the hammer, so that'll give you a good idea without using the Dykem method on what the angle is. Put the stone on there like that, push it into the hammer, and you stone it like that. Nice and even, see? And that gets your hammer hook, and that changes the angle of your hammer hook. And you can, if you want to get it lighter or less undercut, you use your lock screw and raise your elevator a few clicks, and try it, stone again, trial and error, put it in the pistol and try it. Now that'll do your hammer to start with. And you only need to do this if your hammer is camming to the rear excessively when you're going through the action. When you pull the trigger and the sear slides off these hammer hooks, you want that hammer to sit dead still, or maybe looking at the top of it, just retract a few thousandths. You don't want it retracting no 20 or 30 thousandths. You want it to set almost dead still. If it doesn't move at all, that's a neutral angle right here. And it don't hurt if it moves back just a few thousandths, where it's just a fraction of a degree undercut, but it has to be smooth. And like I said, generally it's 90 degrees to these hammer hooks to the bottom of the hammer, generally. Some of the older hammers I know on the pre-70 series, prior to that time, they had some of these hammer hooks that was cut 7 degrees undercut. And every one of those guns, the hammer would cam to the rear before it dropped forward. Those are the ones that need change. Nowadays, they have a lot of aftermarket hammers and sears on the market, and generally, they are 90 degrees or cut to a neutral angle, or close to it. So that's your 1911 hammer hook alteration with your Series 2 second generation.